sports. We are Buffalo. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Nicholas Castellanos has been wielding a hot bat lately. Hopefully more of the same here tonight on a great night for baseball. We're at Target Field this evening. Game 2 in this 4-game series. Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen. We're glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. Tigers trying to bounce back, but they've got another big guy in the middle of that lineup that is doing some good things. Nick Castellanos in the last week, Rod, has been dynamite.
You know, it's really good to see. I don't know about you, partner, but I happen to believe that when he didn't make the All-Star team, it just kind of threw him back. I mean, we were talking about him making the team, and then he didn't make it, and he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat after the first half started, but then he's gotten on track lately. 8 big games. You've talked about that. Well over 300, hitting left-handers and right-handers and breaking balls, and it's no coincidence the entire team, from an offensive standpoint, has woken up the last 8 games with Nicholas.
All right, good to see Matt Boyd back on the hill tonight. Boyd, over his last 5 games or so, has been really good. He'll try and slow down these Minnesota bats, which by and large have been really hot lately.
Well, they had a bunch of runs in last night's contest, and Matthew's going to have to stay out there for a while because the Tigers a little short-handed in that bullpen. I love what Matthew did against his team on Sunday. He pounded them inside with a lot of fastballs early in the game. He's going to need to do that again today. They're not expecting it, but he's going to have to go in there with regularity. And by him going inside as much as he did on Sunday, look at how he opened up the breaking pitches here for the swings and misses and all the soft contact. Really, Matthew Boyd has had his way in his career against the Minnesota Twins. 6-3 with a whip of 1, a batting average of under 2, and a respectable earned run average. So he's going to be at his best today because he's going to have to stay out there and really try to dominate a team that plays really good baseball in this ballpark.
All right, now who is the Kyle Gibson we saw last week at Comerica Park? He certainly wasn't the guy the Tigers had dominated over the last couple of years. He was awfully good.
He's the best I'd ever seen him. And I was talking to Rick Anderson, the Tigers pitching coach. You had Kyle Gibson here in Minnesota when he was just a baby, and he says he has really matured. Lots of first pitch strikes. He's attacking with the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. He's got 2 different breaking balls, the curveball and all the slider. But you don't look at his wins and losses this year. That doesn't tell the whole story regarding Kyle Gibson. You look at some of his secondary numbers, his swings and misses, his strikeouts per 9, what he's doing with runners in scoring position. He's having a marvelous year. Very underrated season for Kyle.
All right, game 2 in the series, minutes away. Tigers have a couple of big bats they've got to slow down tonight for the Minnesota Twins. That would be Miguel Sano and Logan Forsythe. They are both red hot. Stay with us. More coming up from Target Field right after this. by Kroger. Visit Kroger.com for great deals, digital coupons, and more. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer.
Matthew Boyd pitching tonight for the Tigers will have a couple of right-handers they'll have to deal with. One, Miguel Sano, who he's pretty much handled in his career, but Miguel is hot right now. The other would be Logan Forsythe. He had 5 hits in last night's game. He saw a total of 17 pitches, and not one pitch was inside. He had 4 hits the opposite way. That would be to right field, and then he had 1 hit right back up the middle. Outstanding job last night for Logan Forsythe. I talked to Rick Anderson, Tigers pitching coach. He said they're going to pitch him inside today, and they must pitch him inside. There's no way you allow him to do what he did last night, driving all those balls the other way.
After a short break to the call, Sam, with Trevor Thompson and Simo. Tigers Twins next. Game 2 in the series is right here. The Tigers and Twins getting set to do battle here. And right now 83 degrees at game time. And here are the starters for the Tigers tonight. The lineup looked like this, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Candelario, Aducci, and Castellanos, your top 3. Nico batting cleanup, and Victor Martinez and Mikey Matuk. Bottom 3 tonight, McCann, Ronnie Rodriguez, and Mike Gerber facing Kyle Gibson. And here is Candelario standing in. Here we go. The first pitch is hit in the air to shallow right center field. And 1 pitch, 1 out as Jake Cave comes in to make the play. Kyle Gibson tonight, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Well, you saw Candelario swing at the very first pitch. The Tigers will be swinging at a lot of first pitches today. It's because Kyle Gibson is throwing a lot more 4-seam fastballs, not as many 2-seamers. He also has a couple of different breaking balls. He's got a curveball and a slider. 3.49 is his ERA. He's won 6 games. He's lost 9. He's pitching better than I've ever seen him pitch.
He was awfully good his last start against the Tigers. See if he can duplicate that here tonight as Jim Aducci stands in.
Already 2 first pitch strikes thrown by Kyle Gibson. That's the biggest difference in him this year. Lots of first pitch strikes.
0-2 on a Ducey. 1 for 5 in last night's ball game, a ball game which was in essence a slugfest. 15 hits for Minnesota, 10 for the Tigers. Now Gibson steps off. A Ducey at 257, couple of homers at the major league level.
He's got good numbers against Gibson. It's a small sample size, 5 at bats, but he's got 4 hits against him.
That one just missed. 95 right at the knees. Ron Gardenhire saw another pitcher go on the DL today. Blaine Hardy placed on the disabled list.
They've been falling like flies lately.
Now the 1-2. Fouled away again.
It's a pitch that Gibson really likes. It's a two-seam fastball. He's got a great two-seam fastball. He starts it off the plate inside. You can see where the catcher is, and he's hoping to catch the inside corner with the swing back action on that pitch.
Up top that time. Count levels now. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
95 with that last fastball thrown by Kyle Gibson. And the new analytics staff here in Minnesota, they really got in Kyle's ear in spring training, and they wanted him to start using his 4-seam fastball more frequently.
That'll head back toward the seats right beyond the Tigers dugout, and caroms around. Hey, nice grab there, young man. Johnny on the spot. Put the look on his face.
Fired up. Little sister's happy too. Look at him. Made his night.
Now a Ducey sends a slow roller foul down the first base line. Tigers jumped on Irvin Santana last night. They scored a couple of runs in the first inning on a 2-run homer by Nick Castellanos. They're hoping for a quick start again here tonight. And maybe more importantly, a deep start for Matthew Boyd. Nicholas waiting on deck. Now Gibson again with the 2-2. And a Ducey giving him fits.
And let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defensive alignment behind Kyle Gibson. And Rosario, Cave, and Field in the outfield. Rosario's got 8 assists. He can really throw. Sano, Polanco, Forsythe, and Adrianza in the infield. And Wilson is the catcher, Bobby Wilson.
It'll pop up back a short. On the move is Polanco. It's going to drop. Base hit. And after a nice little lengthy battle, a bloop single for a Ducey.
He is now 5 for 6 in his career against Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson started Candelario and Ducey off with first pitch fastballs. We'll see if he does the same thing to Nicholas Castellanos.
Just out of the reach there of Polanco. Wilson and Castellanos are having a little lengthy dialogue there. Nick stands in now with 1 on, 1 out. The home run he hit last night was his 18th of the year. Chop foul.
There was a time when Kyle Gibson was leading the American League in double plays turned when he was on the mound. But he does not pitch the same way that he used to pitch. He doesn't throw those 2-seamers as frequently. He now will throw it with a runner on first base where he's trying to get a ground ball, but by and large, he throws more fastballs up in the strike zone, not as many 2-seamers.
Well, since 2014, he has induced 110 ground ball double plays. And there's the number. Dallas Keuchel second and Martin Perez third on that list.
Only 15 or 16 of them so far this year.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Nicholas.
It's another thing that he has done. Those first 2 fastballs, 93, 94. Then he comes back with a real slow curveball. He used to be sinker ball slider. Now he's added that curveball in, and the curveball's a good pitch for him as well. He went from being a 2-pitch pitcher to now using all 4 of his pitches with the curveball and the 4-seam fastball upstairs.
Two and 2, 95 again from Gibson.
It's a good Minnesota Twins team right here at home. They don't lose very often.
Twins come into play tonight 12 over 500 at home. Their road record leaves a lot to be desired. The Tigers have struggled away from home as well. And Ducey scampering back.
It's a nice job by Kyle Gibson, who's a pretty good athlete on the mound. Even though he's about 6 feet 6 inches, he's an outstanding athlete. As a matter of fact, they say he might want a Gold Glove at some point in time because he shuts down the running game. He fields his position.
Castellanos hits a one-hopper to the shortstop. Polanco to second, 1, and a relay is a double play. 6-4-3.
Gibson does that very well.
Field, and here is the starting pitcher for the Tigers. That is Matthew Boyd. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Yeah, career high in wins already this year for Matthew with 7, and he pitches his best baseball against the Minnesota Twins. Career 6-3 with an ERA that's under 1 and a whip just a shade over 1 for Matthew against the Twinkies.
Here's the lineup for Paul Molitor tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. The scalding hot Logan Forsythe leading off, then Rosario and Polanco. Sano batting cleanup. Austin and Cave will follow. Field, Adrianza, and Bobby Wilson rounded out.
Expect for Matthew Boyd to try to get ahead of Forsythe with the very first pitch, probably on the outside part of the plate. Forsythe does not swing at the very first pitch very often, although he's sizzling hot. And if that happens, Matthew Boyd will pitch inside. They have to pitch him inside tonight. At least show him in there.
5 for 5 in the ball game last night for Forsythe, who is hitting leadoff tonight. First pitch is down low.
He missed with it.
1 ball and no strikes on Forsythe.
He has to go back in. He has to go inside now.
Popped up. Shallow right field for Castellanos, and they finally get Forsythe out. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the defensive alignment behind Matthew Boyd this evening. Matuk earned another start with that big home run in last night's game. Gerber out in center field. Nicholas Castellanos, he's in right. Adusi, Goodrum, Ronnie Rodriguez, and Candelario round out the infield. And James McCann, who had a big offensive night last night as well, catching for the second consecutive day. You see that fastball inside right there, 91? It tied him up. He didn't get his hands out in front of that one. That's exactly what you have to do to Forsythe and expect that the remainder of the night.
Here is Eddie Rosario now with one out. Rosario, a 4-game hit streak, batting .295. Did not start in the ball game last night. Came on as a pinch hitter. Ended up with an RBI single in 3 at-bats.
Matthew's been so good this year against left-handers that Joe Mauer and Max Kepler, a couple of good left-handers on their team, not playing here tonight. But Eddie Rosario is.
Out in front of that one, he'll drive it foul to right field.
Rosario has 141 hits this year.
Certainly had the numbers at the All-Star break to make the All-Star team, but Jose Barrios was the selection for the Twins. And every single year you will have players that are deserving that will not make it.
Yep, that is the case.
Slap toward left, foul.
Good fastball there thrown by Matthew at 92 miles an hour.
Little bouncing ball fouled at first base. Boyd came in 6-3 career against the Twins, .379 earned run average. There have been times this year where he has been unhittable. It's been kind of an uneven season for Matthew. He's got good stretches. He's in one right now. It'll bounce in and away. 2-2.
And Matthew in one of those stretches right now that he was in at the end of last year. And the final 6 weeks of the 2017 season, Matthew Boyd was pitching some tremendous baseball.
Now Rosario has the count fill up 3-2. Polanco waiting on deck for Minnesota. Drilled to center field and hit well. Kerber is on the run, still going back to the wall to make the catch.
Time now for StatCast AI, and powered by AEWS. Last night, Jorge Polanco in the bottom half of the first inning, after the Tigers had taken a 2-0 lead, he erased that lead. Exit velocity of 107 is the hardest ball that Polanco has hit in his major league career.
There were a lot of big hits in last night's game, but Polanco erased an early 2-0 deficit and gave the Twins a lead very quickly with one swing.
And Polanco, since serving his 80-game suspension, is doing his best work offensively right here at Target Field. And he did some more of that damage last night against the Tigers.
Polanco also had a big month of August last year. He was one of the reasons why the Twins stayed in the race and eventually won a playoff spot last year. Two and one on Polanco. Two homers, 20 RBIs. Another happy fan.
It's a Brian Dozier fan.
Boyd in search of the 1-2-3 first inning.
That's a nice spoil there by Polanco. Outstanding pitch by Boyd. It's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball headed right to the black. Somehow Polanco got a piece of it.
Polanco last night ended up 2 out of 4 with 4 RBIs with that big home run. That'll back him out of there, and he hits the deck.
And Boyd keeping everything down to Polanco.
93 at his kneecaps. Full count. Sano waiting on deck. Never really got the total pitches thrown in the ball game last night by Tigers pitchers, but it had near 200.
They lost count.
We got to the 170 mark and we're like, that's enough. But it had to be nearly 200.
Rough night last night for Francisco.
Swing and a miss, and Boyd strikes him out. Polanco is gone. 1-2-3 first inning for the Tigers lefty. Nico will lead things off.
Call of the game, if you missed it, Nico Goodrum homered for the 5th time this year against the team that drafted him out of high school back in 2010. 13 homers for Nico, 5 against Minnesota.
And Goodrum looks at a ball up and in to get things started here in the second. Martinez, then Matuk to follow. 40 driven in for Goodrum. And Nico looks at a strike.
And first pitch fastball inside. Then he comes back with an off-speed pitch to Nico Goodrum. Let's take a look at Nico's 3 home runs this last week against Minnesota pitching. Friday, Saturday, and last night, all breaking balls, 2 sliders, and 1 changeup. The one common denominator, the swing, looks exactly the same on all 3 of those off-speed pitches. Off-speed pitches were giving Nico some problems earlier in the season. When the season began, he was clobbering the fastballs. And then they started paying more attention to him. They started throwing him some breaking balls. Nico was swinging and missing. As recently as that trip out west in California, swinging a lot of breaking balls, but he made a nice adjustment when he got back home. Now not leaving the strike zone as much.
Got him, strike 3, fastball right at the belt, and Goodrum is out, 1 away.
That's that swing back fastball at 94 with some real nice action on it thrown by Gibson. Nico Goodrum saw everything. He saw a changeup, he saw a fastball, and he saw that 2-seamer at 94 to finish him off.
That thing did have some movement.
Oh, some late life.
Here is Victor Martinez. Tiger DH, 1 for 2, doubled in the ball game last night. Victor right now enjoying a 6-game hitting streak.
And Victor over his last 20 games batting .324 and with some extra base power.
Ooh, man,
good bender.
That thing.
That's an outstanding curveball.
0-2 now on Martinez.
See, that's what he didn't used to do. He used to be two-seamer and a slider. Now it's curveball, slider, four-seam fastball, and a two-seamer. There's the slider right there at 86.
Gibson has faced the Tigers more than any other opponent. This is his 19th career start versus Detroit tonight. Now the 1-2. Line to right field. That's going to get down. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Veward has a looping single down the line.
And Victor stays hot.
It's a 7-game hit streak now for Martinez. Well, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, simply bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Free small order of curly fries. We had last night. Tigers hit 4 homers in the game. Matuk had 1 of them. His first of the year as a Tiger.
That earned Mikey Matuk another opportunity to play here tonight.
In there, strike 1 on Matuk. Well, that home run that Mikey hit last night was his first in the major leagues since September 17th of last season. Finished up the year in a Tigers uniform.
Matuk with really good numbers against Kyle Gibson, batting .375 in his career against the starter. That's probably the main reason why he's in there.
Little chopper back up the middle. Forsythe tags the bag 1. There's another double play from Kyle Gibson. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. No score.
Last 15 games he's been banging. Got off to a real slow start this year, but they sent him down to the minor leagues. He lost a few pounds and he's swinging the bat right now better than he has all year long.
Sano will start off the second. It'll be followed by Tyler Austin and then Jake Cave. A solid first inning for Matthew Boyd, who threw 18 pitches, got a 1-2-3. And Sano watches one dart inside 1-0.
Matthew Boyd has owned Sano in his career, 3 for 23. I was watching Sano take batting practice today, and everything that he hit was straightaway center field or right field. That's the one thing that Sano is practicing right now, not pulling off the baseball. He's just trying to use the biggest part of the baseball park, so expect him to go to center field.
Boyd has come inside on 3 straight pitches. He got the call there.
And here's where Boyd will throw him that little slow breaking ball, and he'll swing right over the top of it.
Chopped left side, fielded there by Candelario. Sano is out, 1 away.
And he did get the breaking ball, but he made contact.
Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting a Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's.
Let's hope that player of the game tonight is Matthew Boyd. That means he pitched a really good game.
Tigers need it. They had their starter bounced out of the 2nd inning last night. Liriano was out of the game before we got to the 3rd inning.
And because of that, Ron Gardner had to dip into his bullpen quite a bit in last night's contest. Therefore, there are a couple of guys out there that he won't use tonight. Not at full strength. It's going to take a really nice pitching performance for Matthew Boyd to get that bullpen back on track. Good changeup there thrown by Boyd to Tyler Austin. You can see the changeup grip. It's a circle change. Disrupts his timing. That's what that pitch was designed to do.
Ratio not quite where Boyd wants it yet. 14 against 11 through 25 pitches. He's gone 2-1 here on the DH, Tyler Austin. Now 3-1. 0 for 3 with an RBI last night for Austin. Was called up on the 10th of August from AAA. Full count. Austin coming out of the Yankees organization. Parts of 3 years in the Bronx. They've got him play to pull on the infield. Swing and a miss. Boy, Boyd carving him up tonight. That is 5 in a row retired.
And Matthew showing a lot of confidence in his off-speed pitches. Even though there's 3 balls and 2 strikes, he still came back with a real good changeup. He showed him that changeup earlier in the count, and then he came back and finished him off with that same changeup at 81 miles an hour.
Here is Jake Cave. Hit him. Barely. First base runner of the ball game now for Minnesota. The 2-out hit batter Jake Cave. Right in the hand. Les Diaz immediately made that call.
That is the 8th batter that Matthew Boyd has hit this year. That leads the Tigers staff.
Johnny Field, the batter. He is a 204 hitter. He's got 6 homers.
He has played with 2 different teams this year, Tampa and Minnesota.
The Rays decided to waive him, and the Twins picked him up. Field played his high school ball at Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, which also produced Joey Gallo.
Oh. Some good baseball players come out of Las Vegas, man. Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant.
He saw Candelario deep at third, pulled back the bunt attempt. Marty Cordova also went to Bishop Gorman High School. He was a Rookie of the Year winner here in the 90s with the Twins.
Yes, he was.
Cave aboard after being hit, and I mean barely being hit by Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd has thrown a total of 33 pitches, and 70% of those have been fastballs here tonight. So he is clearly on the attack tonight with his heater.
Fly ball center field. That'll be playable for Mike Gerber. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit batter, one left. Little League World Series is underway. We'll show you some current big leaguers who made it to Williamsport as youngsters. T-Mobile, the Little League World Series is now underway. Some of the most notable current MLB players who appeared in the Little League World Series: Cody Bellinger in 07, the Mets' Todd Frazier in 98, the Rangers' Jurickson Profar in 04, Michael Conforto in 2004, one of 3 players ever to play in the Little League World Series, College World Series, and the World Series. McCann leads it off and lines one to right field. It'll be a single for James to get things started here in the third.
And McCann stays hot. Nice swing right there. Taking that fastball the opposite way.
How about this? Great Lakes had a comeback in the first round. They were down 4-1 going to the final inning. They are represented by Grosse Pointe Woods Shores, and they win over Northwest 5-4. So congrats.
This is the 20th anniversary of Todd Frazier and his teammates winning the Little League World Series.
That tournament never disappoints.
No, it's a lot of fun.
Always great stories coming out of that tournament.
Very exciting. And some big kids, man, for 12 years old, too. Huge, some of them. Bringing the boys to the game. Making them fans early. That's when you got to get the kids, man. You got to get them to the ballpark early.
I agree. Bring the glove.
Yep. Hang with Dad. Eat some peanuts. Eat some ice cream, cotton candy, get a stomach ache.
Perfect night. Ronnie fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And take him home and let mom take care of him.
Yep. That's the plan. That one caught Wilson.
I was talking to Rick Anderson, Tigers pitching coach, and he was talking about Kyle Gibson. And he said that Kyle Gibson told him last week at Comerica Park the biggest change in where he is right now and where he was before is maturity. He says he's just matured. He just feels better now, feels more confident. He's not picking around the strike zone. He's throwing more strikes, and he's confident they won't hit it. He's always had good stuff. And Rick Anderson says he's finally figured it out.
30 years old now, Gibson. The 1-2.
There used to be a time where we would hear about Kyle Gibson. He'd be on a real nice stretch, went 4 or 5 games in a row. Then all of a sudden we would show up, and he just wouldn't pitch well. But he has the last couple of years. He's started to pitch a whole lot better against the Tigers.
Overall 7 and 8 with an ERA over 5 career against Detroit. Ronnie hits a hard ground ball to Sano. They'll go to second 1, and that is the 3rd double play of the night in 3 innings for Kyle Gibson.
That is ridiculous. They're going to start putting some runners in motion.
The Tigers host the Central Division rivals Chicago White Sox on Saturday the 25th at 6:10. First 10,000 fans receive a 68th 50th anniversary Mickey Lolich bobblehead. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com. That ball was a bullet off the bat of Ronnie, but straight at Sano. Mike Gerber swings and misses. So Gibson now has gotten Castellanos, Matuk, and Ronnie Rodriguez to bounce into double play.
All 3 of those ground balls hit to the left side of the infield, and that's an indication of it may be a little jumpy against a sinker baller, especially with the runner on first base. When you know you're going to get a sinker from Gibson, you have to have the same kind of approach that James McCann had. You have to drive the ball the other way.
1-2.
I will say this about the 2 of the double plays. Ronnie Rodriguez and Castellanos hit their balls hard.
They did. Nix was a sharp 1 hopper to Polanco.
8 of 9 in first pitch strikes already for Kyle Gibson, just like he was last week at Comerica Park, getting ahead.
Diaz looked like he wanted to call it, but that was up top.
Laz Diaz, home plate umpire.
Mike batting 125.
Swing back fastball.
Got him. That'll end the inning. A strikeout for Gibson, his 2nd of the night. All right, Trev, I'm not sure where Ramirez will end up in the home run chase, but he just continues to amaze. That ball flared to right field on the first pitch and caught there by Castellanos.
How about this news right here? Trevor Bauer out 4 to 6 weeks with a stretch fracture in his leg. He was pitching some tremendous baseball in the last couple of months, and he had put himself in the Cy Young conversation.
Initially, they thought it was just a bad bruise, and they said that Bauer would make his next start, but the pain wouldn't go away. They got it checked out, found a stress fracture, and it's really going to change things a little bit now when you look at the Indians. I mean, they're still a very good team. They still have, quality in their rotation, but that's a big bullet to take out of your chamber.
He was their second best starter this year. And there was a stretch there where he was pitching better than Corey Kluber.
Bobby Wilson, the batter here, with 1 out in the third. Wilson, the number 9 hitter, batting 177, former Tiger, albeit very briefly. One and 2 on the Twins catcher. Played a handful of games with the Tigers in 2016. Swing and a miss. He was out front, struck him out. Boyd looking really good tonight. Third strikeout for Matthew. Time now for Chevrolet's most dependable player as Logan Forsythe comes strolling into the plate. Highest batting average this month, and you got Forsythe at 449 with Mookie Betts.
You got a couple of Dodgers and a couple of Boston Red Sox on there with the red hot Logan Forsythe. I was reading some comments by his manager, Forsythe's manager, Paul Mahler. He says, I sure hope the rest of my team is watching the way he's swinging the bat. 4 hits the opposite way in last night's game and 1 up the middle. He says you can watch him and really learn something from him. Good pitch.
Brian Dozier here obviously was a talented second baseman for a lot of years, hit a lot of home runs, but he was a dead pull hitter and very rarely went the other way.
Yeah, it was foreign to him. Matthew might have to go up top here or either go off the plate inside. Looks like they're going to do it.
First base side for a Ducey and foul ground.
Take a look at how they've pitched him so far. We'll get to it next time.
1-2-3 inning. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. No score as we go to the top of the fourth inning as you enjoy a Miller Lite. Look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. Been a pitching duel so far tonight as opposed to last night where the offenses were flexing their muscles. Chamber bangs the first one off his foot.
And Jamer swung at the very first pitch of the game as well and hit a lazy fly ball to right field. A lot of these Tigers hitters aggressive against Kyle Gibson, and why not? He is now 9 of 10 in first pitch strikes.
Gonna have to hurry here. Wilson, quick shovel, and he got him.
Great play by Wilson.
Wilson,
great play.
He really had only one play there, and that was to pick it up and underhand toss it. Candelario says, I beat it out, so I'm not going anywhere.
I think he got it. We'll see.
Nope, he's coming back. Nice play by Bobby Wilson.
He's probably the only one that makes this play. He grabs the ball with the bare hand, great concentration, watching it into the hand, then he flips it on the inside part of the bag, and he gives Adrianza a real nice look.
Strike one to Adduci. Last night's game featured 7 home runs, 4 by the Tigers and 3 for Minnesota.
A little different story tonight, however.
Oh, 0-2 on Jim. Adduci shaking his head after that last swing. Swing and a miss. He got him on 3 pitches. There are 2 gone.
Kyle Gibson is just dealing. Yeah, 10 of 11 in first pitch strikes. Ducey having a really good year so far against him, but 3 pitches and none of them fastballs, all off speed stuff, finishing him off with that breaking ball. Man, is he pitching with a lot of confidence out there.
Big swing by Castellanos. Playing to pull as they normally do on Nick. Anything on the ground usually goes to the left side. Nick bouncing into a double play in the first, 1 of 3 already turned by the Twins defense. Here's the 1-1. Castellanos with 9 RBIs in his last 8 games. Among the league leaders in doubles with 34. The 2-1 did not go. 3-1. And he walked him. Ball 4. It'll be a 2-out base on balls for Castellanos.
Time for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. And last night in the very first inning, Nicholas Castellanos homered, and he said he had some pine tar on his hand, and that wasn't necessarily a bat flip. But I was telling Nicholas today, you should just stick with it, man. That was sweet. You should just say it's a bat flip. But he said he had some extra pine tar on his bat, and when he tried to, you know, take his little shoulder and give some style points, that bat flew up in the air, and Manny Gonzalez caught it.
It was such an odd-looking play that you figured something had to be going on there. And you might recall, was the next at bat where Santana came up and in against him?
Yeah.
And Nick said, now, one trying to bat flip that. I don't know that he was throwing at me or making a statement, but that was not a bat flip, he said.
Yeah, we called it a reverse bat flip last night.
Nico batting now with 2 outs, runner at first. He struck out in the second. 1-1. Time for the Bernstein advantage. Nico Goodrum, one of 2 rookies with at least 40 extra base hits and 40 RBIs this year. And the other guy is one of the front runners for Rookie of the Year, Miguel Andujar of the Yankees.
I bet you Andujar has a whole lot more at bats than Nico Goodrum does.
Oh, for sure. Popped up. Back out of play. Well, Nico has played every day the last couple of months. Early on, he was fighting for at bats.
Andujar has over 400 at bats, 419 to be exact, and Nico checks in with 333 at bats, so about 100 less, but the same kind of damage.
One and 2 on Goodrum. Ooh, Nick Tardy getting back there, just got in.
And Kyle Gibson not going to forget about Nicholas Castellanos. Nick not the fleetest of foot over at first base, but he can steal your base if he gets a good jump and you're not paying a whole lot of attention to him. Swing back fastball. Slider that time. We showed you a little earlier where Nico Goodrum hit 3 home runs in the last week against the Minnesota Twins. All pitches have been breaking pitches that have been out over the plate. They've been crowding him here tonight. Going back inside again.
Drill to right field. That'll get down. It's going to be a base hit, maybe more. Bobbled by Field in right. Castellanos will go to third and stop there, and Nico with a double.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball. Another breaking ball there thrown by Kyle Gibson, and Nico Goodrum continues to murder the breaking balls these days. That ball was hit like a rocket to right field.
Heard some of Paul Molitor's pregame interview on their local radio show here tonight, and he used the word Nico Goodrum is haunting us.
Yeah,
which
sure
is pretty much the truth. So there's another extra base hit for Goodrum. He sets up a scoring chance now for Vmart.
And that ball left Nico's bat at 106 miles an hour.
Tigers have their first real legit scoring chance here. Victor singled in his first at bat. And it's going to get through. Will it score the run? Here comes Castellanos. He's in there. And the Tigers take the lead in a ball that got through the wickets of Wilson. A wild pitch scores the run.
It's great anticipation by Nicholas Castellanos. You're anticipating that he might bounce one, and as soon as the ball goes down, Castellanos is off and running with a really good slide in there before Gibson's able to apply the tag. You see Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, with the safe call.
Meanwhile, Goodrum takes third in the wild pitch.
Nico Goodrum has 12 hits against the Minnesota Twins this year, and 10 of the 12 hits are extra base hits. It's remarkable. That's like an OPS of 1,500.
Is that good?
That's really good.
Now Gibson with the 1-1.
And Victor came in with the most data against Kyle Gibson in his career. Career 300 batter against Kyle Gibson.
Martinez also a deep career here at Target Field as a visitor. 357 in this ballpark. Slice to center, base hit. Martinez 2 for 2, and the Tigers get a pair of runs. 41st RBI for V-Mart.
And Victor stays hot in his last 21 games. That batting average about 340 now for V-Mart. He laces this ball the other way. It's a four-seam fastball, about 93, 94, and it's remarkable that Victor at age 39, man, can still generate some tremendous bat speed.
Tigers now have their 5th hit. They will score a run on a wild pitch and 1 on an RBI single, but it was a Goodrum double that got them going. Strike called on Mata. Oh, 2 as Mikey swings and misses. Hit into a 4-3 double play in his first at bat. Gibson now about to throw his 60th pitch of the night. Mata had 11 homers at Toledo. Two and 2 now on Mikey.
And second time through the batting order, Tigers making Kyle Gibson work a lot harder than they made him work the first time through. It started with the Nicholas Castellanos at bat with 2 outs, the base on balls. I guess the base on balls could be a kiss of death early in the game too, just like it is late.
Sure is. It was here because he had gotten Candelario on the slow roller and struck out a Ducey. Nothing was going, and then the 2-out walk set up Nico. Runner will go now on 3-2. Martinez on the move, and a ground ball up the middle, but Forsythe is right there. That'll end the inning. Tigers score first. They get a couple of runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 Detroit.
moves to pass along from today. Lane Hardy, left-handed starter, has been placed on the 10-day disabled list with tendonitis in his throwing elbow. They did have an MRI, no structural damage there, so they're hoping it's nothing severe. But in his place, they've called up another lefty, Ryan Carpenter from AAA Toledo. It's likely that Carpenter will get the start tomorrow, but basically Ron Gardenhire didn't want to go that far. He said, I needed him available for tonight. I didn't want to go into tonight's game with just a 24-man roster. So he is activated for today should they need him, but likely Ryan Carpenter gets the start tomorrow. And to answer your question that you posed a little bit earlier, Mario, about how many pitches they used last night, they used a combined 183 pitches,
Whoa.
and they used 7 different pitchers. So when they said, as far as Matthew Boyd, do you need him to get deep in your game tonight? He said, Matthew Boyd ain't coming out of this game. He said if he gets tired, he's going to have to throw with his other arm. So,
well, that's the way baseball goes sometimes.
Well, and the other thing, so far so good, obviously, for Boyd, but, you know, Gardy said it's not the way you draw it up. Sometimes you got to run an end around when you can't go right at the defense. So you got to mix and match, but Boyd is doing his part so far. Dare I say it, there's some goose eggs up there.
That is true as we play here in the 4th. Eddie Rosario leading things off for Minnesota, and he will look at a strike. 2-2 on Rosario. Boyd facing the first 9 hitters with 3 strikeouts. Then he got Forsythe to pop up in the 3rd to end that frame. And really the only runner, a hit batter. That's it. It'll pop up. Left side of the infield for Candelario. And Jamer hauls it in, and Rosario's out, 1 gone.
And Tigers, a lot of movement in the organization. And Daz Cameron went from AA Erie to Toledo today. Troy Montgomery also on the move. Cody Clemens and Brock Deathridge also on the move from West Michigan to Lakeland. So a lot of the higher round draft choices, the Tigers and some of their prospects. And once they get to a level where it looks like they are competing in that one league, they don't mind moving them up to where they could go to a higher league.
1 away, and here is Polanco. Deathridge went from Gulf Coast League to West Michigan to Lakeland.
Ooh, he's on the move then, isn't he?
Moving quickly. It'll pop up, second base side for Nico. And Boyd continues to cruise, 2 gone.
Matthew Boyd got him eaten out of his hand right now.
If you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by Oakland University. Here is Sano now with 2 outs. Ball 1-2 Sano. Grounded 5-3 his first time up. As Boyd has hit the 50 plateau.
Throwing a lot of strikes. It's the one thing that makes Matthew Boyd effective. At 92, he's not afraid to go inside against a big physical hitter like Sano, even though the count's 1-0. You would think that he'd be scared to go in here with a fastball in that count, but he's not. At 91, Sano couldn't get to it. Going back in there again.
1-2. Sano with massive power. He's got 10 homers this year. Last year was an all-star for the Twins. That'll miss inside. 2-2 now on Miguel.
Yes, Sano no longer sporting those dreadlocks that he'd been sporting the last couple of years.
Swing and a miss. And Matthew Boyd with a 1-2-3 4th inning, bobbing and weaving right through this Minnesota lineup. Boyd punching out his 4th of the game. Tigers lead 2-0. facing Kyle Gibson, McCann, Ronnie Rodriguez, and Mike Gerber in the Tigers' 5th inning.
And McCann had a solid single to right field his first time up. He hit the ball very sharply.
Tigers have 5 hits on the board so far in this game. RBI single by Victor Martinez, another one scoring on a wild pitch. Bouncer back up the middle. He's going to find another hole.
James McCann has had tremendous amount of success in this ballpark. Menards brings you the big money encounter. If you missed it last night, it was Mikey Montook and James McCann going back-to-back. First time this year Tigers had gone back-to-back. You saw Mikey Montook jumping on the back of Lloyd McClendon. McClendon said, "Get off me, man. You're hurting my back."
Then the old back-to-back with McCann and Montook in the dugout. They were fired up last night, but the 4 home runs not enough. Here is Rodriguez who fouls it off.
Well, the Tigers have already hit it at 3 double plays today, and I'm just wondering if at some point in time they're going to put on a hit and run or something, because you know that's exactly what Kyle Gibson is trying to get Ronnie Rodriguez to do again, and that's to hit into a twin killing.
5-4-3 his last time up.
You got to have that approach that James McCann has. And on that last swing by Ronnie Rodriguez, it looked like he was trying to hit something between first and second. Take a look at this swing. Trying to hit something in that direction. Does not want to hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield.
Ooh. Soft roller back to the mound. He'll go to second for one. Relay. It's another double play.
My goodness, that's 4 of them.
4 double plays on the night for Minnesota. That one sawed off Ronnie, and they still turn 2.
It's a career high 4 induced double plays tonight for Kyle Gibson. And that's a fine play right there. We told you a little earlier that they think he's going to win a Gold Glove at some point in time. He bounced off the mound, and then take a look at the feed that he was able to give to his shortstop. Right on the bag. And that allowed Polanco to come over and turn it.
Well, we mentioned he has turned a bunch up since getting to the big leagues, a career high 4 now in 1 game. Mike Gerber fanned in the 3rd. He is 0 for 1. Two and 1 now on Gerber, getting the start in center field tonight.
Gerber is a natural center fielder. Played center fielder in college. Also started his minor league career as a center fielder. And he says he prefers to play center.
In the air toward left, it'll be routine for Rosario. That'll end the inning. No runs, a single, another double play, and we go to the bottom of the 5th.
some irony. Matthew Boyd, in his last start on Sunday against these same Twins, limited them to just one run off 2 hits in 6 innings of work, only threw 88 pitches. And when Ron Gardner came to take the baseball from him, he wasn't having it. They had a spirited exchange. Of course, Gardy wouldn't tell us exactly what was said, but obviously the dynamic has changed tonight because they're going to have to lean on Matthew Boyd a little bit. But I talked to him yesterday. He said, hey, he's got to come at it with the same game plan. You got to continue to adjust to whatever adjustments the Minnesota Twins hitters are making. And you hit on it as well, Rod, is basically he's got to get that fastball, not only use it, command it, but he's got to be able to pitch inside with it, which largely he's been able to do up until there.
No doubt.
And Johnny, that was the first hit that he's given up in this game. Now, by spirited conversation with manager Ron Gardner, define spirited. Because Matt's a great guy. I just don't see him getting spirited.
I thought so too. Well, part of it, you know what I think it was because Matthew Boyd looked up to Jack Morris a ton, and of course that was Jack Morris's number retirement.
Yeah.
And so I think what something had to do with it there was the fact that Matthew Boyd was absolutely twirling a gem out there, and the fact that somebody was going to come on his dirt and take the baseball from him. When we all heard that's something that you did not do with Jack Morris, I'm thinking he had a little bit of that competitive fire going.
I see.
What do you
forgot.
think?
That was the Morris day. That's right.
That's right.
All right, Johnny, thanks.
Matthew, you got to get a little more dirt on his cleats, though, right? Before you start talking about Jack Morris. Man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you got to get a little more dirt on the cleats.
Jake Cave, the batter, with a leadoff single here in the 5th. Fouled back out of play. First hit of the ball game for the Twins, a leadoff single by Tyler Austin. He found a seam on the left side of the infield. Cave this year batting .352 here at Target. That'll miss outside, 1-2.
Nice block there by James McCann. You call for the breaking ball, you have to anticipate that he might just bounce it, and if he bounces it, you better block it.
Well, since the Tigers have grounded into 4 double plays tonight, I vote that the Twins bounce into 1.
Be nice. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. Matthew Boyd has touched 94 so far this evening. As a matter of fact, he's gotten there several times. He's gone as low as 72 with that breaking pitch. Matthew hung that last breaking ball there to Cave. You want to make sure you bury that breaking ball down and away and from the left hand.
Well, good to see Boyd pitching well on the road. As you look at his breakdown here after 60 pitches, his ERA on the road this year was over 5.5 compared to under 3 at home. Swing and a miss. Cave is retired, 1 gone.
Better location with that last pitch thrown by Matthew Boyd. He got it away from Cave, and Cave swung right through it. Much better location with that 2-seam fastball.
Johnny Field now with 1 out. He fly to center field back in the 2nd. Fouled away. Twins one night after posting 15 hits have only 1 hit in the middle of this game here tonight. And you can credit Matthew Boyd with that. 3 defenders to the left of second base. That'll dive in for a strike.
He's also had a really nice backdoor breaking ball. That was that pitch right there to Johnny Field. He starts it off the plate intentionally, knowing that if he throws it just right, he gets the right kind of spin on it, and it's going to land in the glove of McCann's, which is on that outside corner. It's a great pitch if you can master it.
Popped him up. Shallow left center field. Matuk coming in. Nico Matuk has to make a sliding catch.
What happened?
Fortunately, it hung up long enough for Mikey.
Did Gerber see it? And ball goes up. Gerber doesn't see it. And you can see he doesn't have his hands up. He doesn't see it. So it's Matuk that has to bail him out. Nico Goodrum also had a chance to make that play. That's good hustle by Matuk.
Yeah, that would have been a really tough play for Goodrum. And Matuk able to slide in, save the day.
And this is the time of evening where it's going from dusk to dark, that sometimes when that ball goes up, your outfielders kind of lose it momentarily. That's why it's important for your infielders to point where the ball goes when the ball does go in the air, just to help out your outfielders.
A-Ray Adrianza, the batter.
Another one of those breaking balls. Matthew Boyd's been able to wrap around the plate against the right-handed batters.
You talk about keeping an offense off balance tonight. Boyd has done that terrifically.
Yeah, they have not had many good swings tonight against Matthew. Yeah, but if you were with us earlier at the top of the show, we told you that Matthew has more wins against Minnesota than he has against any other team in the big leagues. He's 6-3 with a very good earned run average. This Minnesota Twins team, they really struggle with breaking balls. And Matthew Boyd has had a really good curveball tonight. Hasn't thrown as many sliders.
Boyd's pitch count has been manageable every inning so far as well. And we've talked about how important that's going to be tonight. The overuse of the bullpen. It'll miss outside. 2-2 now, and the right-handed batting Adrianza.
Yeah, Matthew can go a couple of different ways here. He can go change up away from Adrianza, or he can simply go with that breaking ball at the back foot to try to get a swing and miss.
Back foot, but he wouldn't offer. 3-2.
Here's the pitch usage tonight for Matthew. And 57% with that fastball. It was a lot higher earlier. And you can see between the slider, the curveball, and the changeup, he will use all those pitches at any point in time. He's not afraid of any of them. It's a nice ratio he's got going.
And he struck him out looking to end the inning.
Look out, Matthew.
6 strikeouts now for Matthew Boyd. He picks up 2 more here in the 5th inning, and he is in absolute cruise control mode tonight. last night's ball game, right? I mean, at this point, we had about 1,000 runs in the ball game last evening. But Matthew Boyd, the story tonight, we've talked over and over about how they need length from him this evening.
He's dealing. I mean, he's got a good fastball. He's gotten up to 94. But not throwing that fastball. Real nice slider, real nice changeup as well. He's kept Minnesota off balance for the most part all night long. They've done nothing against him.
That ball over the header. Rosario going to bounce into the seats. And that'll be a double for Candelario.
It's a nice approach there by Candelario. We told you when you go up against a sinker baller, you really have to fight to try to drive the ball the other way. And here's a good fastball on the outside part of the plate. Real nice swing put on it by Jamer. Rosario, usually a really good defender. Looks like he got twisted up out there and couldn't make the play. It's a big at bat here by Adduci.
Jim Adduci with a single and a strikeout, trying to advance the runner. Bunts, and they're calling for him to go to first base. They'll advance him.
I love that. Jim Adduci was not going to mess around trying to pull the ball to the right side of the infield. He was going to make sure he got his job done by getting the ball down and getting Jamer Candelario over to third base for Nicholas Castellanos. If Nico Goodrum was not in the on-deck circle, they would probably consider walking Castellanos right here and playing for another double play. They've already turned 4.
Infield is in for the Twins.
That would be their best chance of getting out of this. Nicholas Castellanos will give you a professional bat in this situation, no doubt.
Ground ball, base hit right through a seam between the shortstop and third baseman, and Castellanos RBI single. 3-0 Tigers.
Yeah, Nicholas Castellanos jumps on that first two-seam fastball, running in on his hands. He turns on it, and he didn't have a whole lot of room in between shortstop and third base, and he was able to get it through there. What do you think? You think they should have played for 2 there, maybe?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's easy to sit here and say that now, but I really do.
I mean, that would be their best chance of getting out of that inning, especially as many ground balls as Gibson's thrown today.
Nico looks at a ball low.
Nico has been dialed in. If you weren't with us just a couple of innings ago, I told you that Nico Goodrum has 10 extra base hits this year against the Minnesota Twins. What did you say he had earlier? He has 40, right?
40.
So 1/4 of them?
Haunting them, as Paul Molitor says.
Did Paul Molitor happen to say what they saw in Nico Goodrum while he was here, or what they didn't see?
No, they were just basically talking about how he has come into here and he has taken it to him. Didn't really talk about his history here, but Goodrum through the years had put up decent numbers in their minor league system. Very versatile guy. He'll chop one to third. Sano. There's nobody at second.
That's because they had the shift on. That might have been another double play ball. That's what happens when you play different positions. You got guys out of position. Now the ball's hit, and the shortstop goes for it, so he can't get to the bag. And the second baseman couldn't get there because he was way over in basically right field.
But that ball was hit straight at Sano, though.
Yeah, it was, but there was nobody home to get to second base.
But Polanco doesn't break to the ball. I guess is my point. He probably could have gone to second.
But he was playing so far out of position, he thought he could get there.
Yeah. Here is Victor Martinez now with
but
2 outs.
Your point is valid, though. It is.
Well, your guy tonight has 2 more hits and an RBI.
Yeah, he does, man. I just love the way Victor Martinez has been swinging the bat the last month or so. He announced just a couple of days ago that at age 39, more than likely this will be his final season. And he wants to have as much fun as possible down the stretch. Over 2,000 career hits. 5 All-Star appearances.
Time now for Lowe's whole team together. We want to talk about the Tigers and how they feel here at Target Field. And they've got a few guys on this list that make themselves quite at home here. including Victor, Castellanos, Iglesias, McCann.
Victor just seems like he is seeing the baseball very well right now. He very seldom strikes out anyway. As we get a look at how they defend him, now they're just going to put him on. How about that?
Well, he fell behind 2-0, was not going to play with fire. The intentional walk puts 2 men on now for Mikey Matuk. Gibson now with a total of 80 pitches.
It's the 4th intentional free pass this year given to Victor Martinez. Strangely enough, and Miguel Cabrera leads the team with 4.
He does not.
Yeah, he does. He's been gone for a long time too.
Been gone since what, May?
Yeah.
Mikey, 2 ground balls to second. One of them was a double play.
Make him pay, Mikey. Tigers really making Kyle Gibson work, especially the second and third time through the order.
Up and in. Matuk spinning out of the way. Tigers got 2 in the 4th. RBI single by Martinez. Wild pitch scored another. And now Castellanos driving a run here in the 6th. Two and 0.
3-0.
I'll take it back. 3-0. Thank you. About to walk the base loaded here with McCann on deck. He'll walk him on 4 straight. Now they're loaded up. Hey Spartans, Fox Sports Detroit University days are back. Head to Comerica Park on August 24th. Tigers take on the White Sox and show your school spirit with a special ticket package. It includes a game ticket, a Tigers cap in green and white, and a donation back at the school. Tigers.com/MSU. Well, right now the Twins trying to keep this one from turning into a blowout. At least a wider lead for the Tigers. There's some green and white in the crowd.
Represent.
So they're loaded now for McCann. And this again is one of the last guys they want to see up here because McCann 2 out of 2 and he came in batting .385 in this yard.
And they're still giving James McCann that huge hole on the right side of the infield. He's already hit 2 balls right in that direction today, and last night he homered in the same direction, so he clearly has a really nice approach today. But Minnesota not buying it. They're still going to open up that hole for James McCann.
Mac didn't like it. Staring down at the ground and talking now with Lance Diaz. There is action. Gabriel Moya warming up. Oh, 0-2. Swing and a miss, and McCann strikes out with the bases loaded. Tigers get another run. We will go to the bottom of the 6th.
one of his best games of his career. I mean, he has tied him up with 94 mile-per-hour fastballs. He's thrown his slider, he's thrown his curveball, he's thrown his changeup. He's only given up 1 hit today. And to the Minnesota Twins team, which scored a bunch of runs last night and had a ton of hits.
Matthew, 71 pitches so far in this game, so he's been in great shape in terms of the pitch count. And he will start him off with a strike. Bobby Wilson, the batter here in the 6th inning. Wilson, Forsythe, Rosario. Wilson, a strikeout victim, back in the 3rd. He was called up from AAA when Jason Castro hurt his knee, and Castro done for the year. Wilson has gotten many of those reps.
And he's beefing as well with the home plate umpire, Laz Diaz. He did not like that last curveball called for a strike.
Both catchers have had a little talk with Laz.
Right.
1-2.
Laz easy to talk to.
Chopper to the shortstop. Ronnie Rodriguez, 1 gone.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We told you Logan Forsythe had 5 hits last night. All 5 of his hits the opposite way. So they pitched him down early. Then they got inside with a good fastball. That was his first time up. He jammed him with that fastball. Second time up, slow breaking balls to get ahead. And then he goes up and in with another fastball and ties him up once again. So the game plan that was given to Matthew Boyd by Rick Anderson this afternoon, he has worked to perfection, because Rick Anderson has basically told me everything Matthew Boyd would do to Forsythe today.
0-1 on Logan. 22 hits in the month of August. He has made a splash since coming over in the Dozier trade.
431 with Minnesota.
Did he go? Negative.
And Boyd's pitch count in still real good shape, just 77 thrown, about to throw a 78th.
Sailing outside. 2-1 now on Forsythe.
And Boyd has such great confidence in his secondary pitches here tonight. He can go with a slider, the curve, or a changeup here. He does not have to throw a fastball here to Forsythe.
Chopper to the shortstop. Rodriguez this time with the backhand. And Forsythe is 0 for 3 tonight. Well, the Tigers take on the Cubs at a 2-game interleague series this Tuesday and Wednesday, August 21st and 22nd, 7:10 p.m. starts. Great seats are still available. 866-66-TIGER or tigers.com. Eddie Rosario, the batter. Driven deep to right field and way back. That ball is gone. Rosario hits his 21st of the year, and the Twins are on the board. Well, if you're going to give him up, it might as well be solo shots.
That's right. Eddie Rosario hit that breaking ball like he was looking for it. Stayed back and just wristed this one out of the ballpark. Not even a full swing. And got this crowd into it momentarily. By and large, they've been quiet.
Here's Polanco. He'll drive one foul to left field. First run in the ball game for Minnesota. The first Twin to get past first base tonight. Oh, 2. Boyd came in with a 2.37 ERA in his last 5, and that included his last start, in which he gave up 1 run in 6 innings.
He only threw 88 pitches 5 days ago, so he can go about 105 to maybe 110 today if he wants to push him that far. This much we do know: he would love for Matthew Boyd to turn the ball over directly to Jimenez and Green today.
To right field, straight at Castellanos. That'll retire the side. The Twins get a run on the Rosario home run. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old Chevrolet. Find new roads. Back here at Target Field, where the Tigers lead 3-1. It'll be Ronnie Rodriguez to lead it off here in the 7th inning. Ronnie looks at a strike, 0-1. He has bounced into 2 double plays in this game. Almost hit him. So Gibson now about to throw his 90th pitch of this game. Gibson has gone as high as 118 this year for Paul Molitor. Here's a 2-1. Rodriguez out at short again tonight. Iglesias still being hampered by that sore thumb.
Jose told me today during batting practice that he hoped to play tomorrow.
He's had that thumb wrapped up the last couple of days.
It was Kyle Gibson in that last start at Comerica Park that really got and jammed Iglesias. And that started that bone bruise for him. So it's Gibson's fault.
Huh. There's a ball low and away. 3-2. Gibson gave up a 2-out walk in the 4th. That proved to be costly. Tigers got 2 runs in that inning. Here's the 3-2 again. To shallow center field, and back out there to make the play is Forsythe. Bring in Johnny Kane.
All right, Mario, you and I were in the manager's office earlier today, and we found out a little something about Ron Gardenhire. First off, when he comes here to Minnesota, he stays at home. Right now he's staying with his daughter and her cat and her 4 or 5-year-old chocolate lab named Luna. What we didn't know is that every morning, Gardy's responsibilities include taking Luna to McDonald's in his pickup truck and getting the chocolate lab a breakfast sandwich. So I thought he was pulling our leg because sometimes he likes to do that. And he said, no. Yeah, we get the breakfast sandwich. He takes it back to the place, and then Luna watches his daughter and Gardy eat their breakfast, and then the dog eats its sausage McMuffin or whatever it is. Is that something?
That's living large, man.
I just tell you. I mean, you want to talk about a regular guy. We all have our responsibilities, and Ron Gardenhire is a regular guy who feeds his chocolate lab McDonald's like the rest of us.
He also said Luna is short for lunatic.
Lunatic.
There's a high fly to center field. Going to be playable for Jake Cave. 2 gone. We'll bring in Jamer Candelario. It's also time for an update for Ram. Pick the stick.
Oh, Johnny rolling today?
How we doing? Aducey, I got a point for that sack bunt, didn't I?
Yeah, you did actually.
He had a strikeout. He had a walk.
Trev struggling.
Who's winning? I can't see.
Rod is right now with 3.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. We'll have final totals.
Should have took my ride or die today,
I know.
Johnny.
I thought about it. I was just going to say.
On Tigers Live postgame. Candy doubled his score in his last at bat.
Not even. Remember Rye?
3-1 Tigers lead. The double by Jamer started the 6th.
And 100 pitches thrown by Kyle.
Jim Aducey waiting on deck. Got him, strike 3. Jamer thought it was high. Diaz said nope, needed to strike. Inning is over. 1-2-3-7 for Gibson. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Here tonight after Nico Goodrum double, and Castellanos standing on third base after he had walked in the 4th. He comes home to score. And Victor Martinez also drove in a run, and then it's Castellanos that drives in the third run of the game here today. That was after Jamer Candelario had led off the inning with a double, and the lone run today scored by the Minnesota Twins came on the 21st round tripper off the bat of Rosario.
So Boyd back out there now, leading 3-1. Here is Sano, and he ropes one to third. It's a foul ball. Ooh, that was close.
It sure was.
Man, it was almost over the bag. But right there to make the call was Manny Gonzalez.
That's one big man right there, man.
Sano?
Oh, man.
Powerful.
You got to be the biggest guy in baseball. Man, I know
Judge
is tall, but Judge is tall. But he weighs more than Judge.
Bigger than Altuve?
Oh, you got jokes.
He's got jokes. Now the 0-1 pitch. Pulled again, foul. Sano, Austin, and Cave here in the 7th.
And Boyd doing a masterful job so far against these bats of the Minnesota Twins. They have been sizzling hot right here at home.
The only blemish on the resume tonight was the Rosario home run. That is it. Fouled down the first base line. Aducey has it sailed back out of play.
Minnesota has won 17 of their last 21 games at home. Which means if you're the Tigers, you probably should think about trying to score a few more runs, despite how well Matthew Boyd is pitching.
Boyd has allowed 15 home runs this year now. 5 of them have been to lefties.
Really?
Little low, 2-2.
Because this much we do know, once Ron Gardenhire goes to his bullpen and he trots either Jimenez or Green out of that bullpen, Mauer and Kepler are going to come off the bench for Minnesota.
Dusted him. Up top, down goes Sano, 1 away.
Sano just cannot hit Matthew Boyd. He is 3 for 26 in his career against Boyd. Four-seam fastball, top of the letters.
Here's Tyler Austin. Twins did not have a hit of this game through 4 innings, and then in the top of the 5th, Austin led off with a ground ball right between Rodriguez and Candelario.
Matthew Boyd has retired the leadoff hitter in 6 of the 7 frames so far here tonight, and coming into play today, there was just a 186 batting average against Matthew Boyd on the first pitches of at-bats, which is the best in the American League. That's how you stay out of jams, get that first guy out.
Driven deep to left, way back. This ball's going to be way out.
Ooh, second dead.
Wow.
Oh.
Tyler Austin has power. We knew that. No, all of a sudden it's a 1-run game.
My goodness. I wonder what the distance is going to be on that one.
3-2.
Ooh, it's a little 80-mile-per-hour something. And ooh. Talk about hitting the ball where the grass doesn't grow.
Goodness. 112 miles an hour was the exit velocity. It'll bring Rick Anderson out now, the Tigers pitching coach.
And Joe Jimenez in the Tigers bullpen. Somebody in that bullpen heating up quickly. Maybe Coleman. It is Lewis.
Home runs by Rosario and Austin in the last 2 innings have cut the Tigers' lead to 1.
There's been a lot of home runs already in the series. 9 of them between the two teams.
How about the distance on that homer? 458.
Oh yeah, I knew it was gone a long way. That's about the furthest ball Austin's probably ever hit.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
With that exit velocity, I wonder what the launch angle was. Had to be 30. Call Simo and see what he say about that launch angle. See if he can get it for me.
He might be the last guy on the circuit you want to call for that. Literally. Now the 1-1. Drilled to center field, looping, and it's going to drop. Base hit right in front of Gerber. Jake Cave with a single. Tying run is on now for Minnesota. So Boyd now is at 96. Here's Johnny Field.
You know, if they bring in that right-hander, man, with runners in scoring position, we're going to see Joe Mauer.
Yep, no doubt.
And I don't want to see Joe Mauer with runners in scoring position.
Oh, he hit him, and Field is aboard now. The tying run is in scoring position.
Well, you wonder if Ron Gardenhire is going to let him pitch his way out of this, or if he's simply going to go get it. Well, there's your answer.
Coleman will be coming into this game. Again, they've got Kepler and Mauer on the bench. Gardy has signaled to the bullpen, so he'll bring in Lewis Coleman. Matt Boyd gave his skipper all he had tonight. Boyd, you can tell, wants to stay in. But the Tigers go to the bullpen here. A run in, 2 on, 1 out. We'll be back. Matthew Boyd out of the ball game now, 3-2 with 2 men on there. Still his responsibility so far. 6 1/3 to 4 hits. He did punch out 7, didn't walk a single batter. But now he's going to have to give up the baseball to Lewis Coleman.
And Coleman has done nice work on occasion out of that bullpen for the Tigers. He's going to have to do some of his best work right here. He's pitched 36 innings with a 3.50 ERA, 35 strikeouts, just 16 walks. First Lewis Coleman since putting on a Tigers uniform.
Joe Mauer will pinch hit for Adrianza. Tying run is second and 1 out. And Mauer looks at ball 1.
And Joe Mauer is 1 for 1 in his career against Lewis Coleman. Coleman looking for the ground ball off the bat of Mauer.
For as good as Mauer has been in his career, he's only a .224 hitter as a pinch hitter. And that ground ball would certainly look really good right now. Missed again. 2-0. .419 with men in scoring position this year. That leads the major leagues. Not only that, but he's got a 2-0 count.
Joe is going to make you throw a strike. Very seldom does Mauer leave the strike zone and swing at bad pitches.
Two and 1.
Ooh, at the bottom of the strike zone. Yeah, this year left-handers are hitting .250 against Lewis Coleman.
Low ball 3. 3-1 on Mauer. The number 9 hitter Wilson waiting on deck.
We might see Kepler there if Mauer gets on.
Austin homered. Cave singled. Field was hit by a pitch. Ooh, on the outer edge. He got the benefit of the call there.
The two-seam fastball, 89. Will Paul Molitor dare allow the runners to run here? I know he has a lot of confidence in Mauer not to strike out, so we'll see.
They're holding, and it's drilled deep in the air to right field, way back, and Joe Mauer has just hit a pinch hit 3-run homer.
Well, partner, that's why we didn't want to see Joe Mauer come off that bench. Just like that, the Twinkies have taken a 5-3 lead.
Second career pinch hit homer for Mauer.
One swing of the bat.
And Matthew Boyd has gone from a spectacular outing to having given up 4 runs. 4 of the 5 are his.
They want a curtain call from Joe.
And there it is. 5-3 Minnesota.
Well, we talked about it last half inning. Very important for the Tigers to try to score some more runs.
Wilson pops up for the second out.
And because we knew how tough this Minnesota team is at home.
Tigers at one point led 3-0, now trail by 2, and here is Logan Forsythe. In there, strike 1. Two homers in the inning for the Twins, a solo shot for Austin, a 3-run shot for Joe Mauer.
Last night it was the 6th inning that was the problem inning for the Tigers. Tonight it's the 7th inning.
Ron Gardner has seen Joe Mauer do a lot of that clutch hitting in his days as the manager of the Twins.
Well, Gardner watched Mauer win multiple batting titles. He watched him win an MVP as well.
That ball went 429 feet.
It was the only swing that Joe took. And all of a sudden, Kyle Gibson is winning.
Now the 1-2. Twins have 3 homers tonight, 6 in the series. Popped up first base side for a Ducey, and that'll end the inning. However, a couple of homers in the inning, but the big one off the bat of Joe Mauer. Pinch hit 3-run shot. And you're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. It's a shame because Matthew Boyd was on point most of the night, but just seemed to run out of gas a little bit late.
Yeah, it appeared to be that way. I mean, the big home run by Austin that traveled about 450 feet, and then you got Joe Mauer hitting the huge home run there against Coleman. We knew that Paul Molitor was going to play that chip in with runners in scoring position to give Mauer credit. He came through.
You know, this Twins offense now with 3 home runs tonight, 6 in the series, and for whatever reason, their numbers here are just so skewed, a whole lot better at home.
Well, their last 4 games, I mean, they've scored a boatload of runs. As a matter of fact, nearly 30 runs in their last 4 contests. They've been a hot team, and we knew they would be tough to beat them here today. Matthew Boyd was spectacular early on, but man, they just continued to fight.
So Mauer stays in the game at first. A wall side windows pitching change. Gabriel Moya will come in now.
And a strikeout an inning for Moya. 18 2/3. He's punched out 17, walked 5, pitching in his 17th game in a Twins uniform.
Tigers still have 6 outs to work with now as Jim Ducey stands in. 2, 3, and 4. Ducey, Castellanos, and Goodrum. Ducey a single and a sacrifice in this game.
And Moya's got a fastball that will top out probably right around 91. He's got a curveball, he's got a changeup, he's got a slider. He loves his changeup. And that's a breaking ball there, but he will throw his changeup to lefties.
Fouled back out of play.
Moya got a little mad Hungarian in him, looked like out there.
Does he?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not to the extreme of the mad Hungarian back in the day, but he's got some movements out there. Check him out. He ain't done yet. Huh?
El Rubaski.
Yeah. Look at it. He ain't done.
Swing and a miss. Trying to hold up, but Aducey is out, one away.
Oh, he carved him up, man. 91. He gave no hesitation pitch.
Celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' 68 World Series team September 8th when the Tigers host the Cardinals at 6:10. Arrive early. It's a special pregame on-field ceremony presented by Comerica Bank. For tickets, go to tigers.com. Now Castellanos. Moya, only 23 years old, came out of the Arizona organization. Had a 1.9 ERA down at AAA this year. Pulled to third, Sano on the backhand. What a play. What an arm, and he got him at first. Miguel Sano might be a big guy, but man, he's nimble down there at third.
The one thing that we have heard for the last couple of years, and we really haven't seen it a lot, his athleticism at third base. They keep telling us that he can really play this position, and this is an indication that he can play the position. He backhands this ball, and then he throws off balance while falling backwards, and he throws a clothesline across the diamond to nab Castellanos.
Great play. 2 outs. Nico Goodrum. Kyle Gibson goes 7, allows 3 runs, struck out 5. He is the pitcher of record. Nico down in the count, 0-2.
Don't know who the Minnesota Twins will use if it's a closing situation in the 9th. They had been using Hildenberger the last couple of save chances they've had.
Swing and a miss. Goodrum is out, and the Tigers go 1-2-3 against Moya. We go to the bottom of the 8th at Target Field. brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com to see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here in Minneapolis, where the Twins have a 5-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Tigers led 3-0, but the Twins have hit 3 homers late. Bouncer up the middle. Rodriguez on the backhand. Nice play by Ronnie. Rosario is gone, 1 away. Upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Tomorrow night it's going to be Cole Stewart, Jake Odorizzi.
And we saw Cole Stewart make his major league debut against the Tigers last Sunday at Comerica Park, and he looked good before the Tigers scored 3 earned runs against him. And Jay Odorizzi will go on Sunday for the Minnesota Twins. Tigers starters to be announced.
Well, I would assume it'll be Carpenter tomorrow.
Yeah.
Based on the fact they didn't need him tonight. Well, not yet, at least. Who knows what will happen the rest of the way, but
then I have to make a decision on what they're going to do on Sunday.
Sunday, the series finale. Now the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball slowly toward Goodrum. 2 gone now as Polanco is retired. They'll bring up Miguel Sano. Sano's probably glad Boyd's out of this game.
That's for sure.
Boyd punched him out twice. He was 0 for 3.
He is a combined 3 for 26 in his career against Matthew Boyd. That's a little over 100 batting average.
Sano came in batting .321 over his last 15. He had gotten hot. Forsythe was hot coming in, but he's 0 for 4. So Tigers have slowed down a couple of their hotter hitters. But home runs tonight from Rosario, from Austin, and from Joe Mauer. The Mauer home run, the pinch hit variety. Chopped to third base. Jamer has it there. And scooped nicely on the backhand by Ducey. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Go to the ninth. shot to try and close it out for the Twins is Matt McGill.
And McGill, 41 innings logged so far this year with a 370 earned run average, 39 Ks. He's walked 10.
Vimard leads it off for the Tigers. And Victor looks at a strike.
Victor's had a nice day. 2 for 2 with an RBI.
He's been walked intentionally. Tigers need a base runner here. He'll dive in for a strike now. 0-2 on Martinez. Moya a 1-2-3/8 after 7 strong from Gibson tonight for the Twins. And McGill's 0-2. Slice to left field down the line. It's going to get in there and go to the wall. Extra bases for Victor Martinez. He is in with another hit. It's a double here in the ninth. That's the way to start it for Victor.
And Vimard continues to swing that magic wand.
Here comes Iglesias to pinch run for him. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience and catch every moment this season. Tigers home screen icons, features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Vimard getting the high fives as he doubles to lead off the ninth.
And Victor's had a great day, 3 for 3.
Here is Mikey Matuk now, a long fly ball away from tying it up. He can hit one out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Iglesias pinch running.
McGill does not have a career save in his major league career, so he's trying to do something for the very first time. And we talk about it quite often. It's quite a bit different in pitching the ninth versus pitching the 6th or the 7th or the 8th, where McGill normally pitches.
Two and 1 the count. McCann waiting on deck.
Yeah, Mikey Matuk should get a pretty good fastball. He's already seen a couple of them. You know it's going to be right around a 96, 97, but you should have McGill timed perfectly.
'97.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite hold true moment, and it came last a couple of innings ago. Joe Mauer steps off the bench in a pinch hitting role with a couple of runners on. In a 3-2 count, his second career pinch hit home run to give his squad a 2-run lead.
Ooh, that was close. Again at 97 from McGill.
Got a couple of the grizzled veterans in this game, Joe Mauer and Victor Martinez, turning in some quality at bats tonight.
Mikey fouls one away. Tigers got 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th. They built a 3-0 lead. They're down by 2 now in the 9th.
Yeah, yet another really close game played by the Tigers. They have played a lot of games this year that have been decided by 2 or fewer runs. A ton of them.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. One gone. Well, we hope you can join us again tomorrow night. Game 3 in this series, Tigers and Twins. All of your game coverage begins with Tigers Live at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. It's a big strikeout there for McGill. One gone. That'll bring up James McCann. Mack with 2 hits tonight, both against Gibson, both singles. He fanned in his last at bat. Iglesias still at second. Swing and a miss. One ball, one strike. McGill has been with several different systems. The Dodgers, the team he broke in with in 2013, then the Reds, and now Minnesota. And the gun shows that he has a pretty strong arm.
Yep. 96, 97.
Missed inside.
From McCann, you know you're going to get another fastball right here. He's not going to mess around with that breaking ball. And the key to connecting to a 97-mile-per-hour fastball is just have that same approach that McCann really had in his first 2 at-bats today. Real short, real quick, compact swing, couple of base hits the opposite way. You can't take a big swing against McGill.
3-1. Tigers have actually out-hit the Twins tonight 9-5. Fly ball, right field, hit deep, chasing him back to the wall to make the catch. Runner will tag, and Iglesias will get to third. Johnny Field had to go to the base of the wall to make the play. I said this last night, but the ball's just jumping here to right field.
I know. 10 home runs in the series already. In the first 2 games of the series. It's a nice play by Field. He got back to that wall, then he turned around and made the adjustment to come in and make a play.
Iglesias ran back, tagged up, and got the third. Now here is Ronnie Rodriguez with 2 outs. Ball 1. Nothing but a steady diet of 97 from McGill. Strike call. Reyes has moved to the on-deck circle. Should Ronnie keep it alive? Had that front foot bailing out. Now he's 1-2. Tigers down to their final strike, down by 2 here in the 9th. Here's the 1-2. High, ball 2.
McGill looking for his first major league save.
Fernando Rodney would be in the spot. Obviously, he was dealt away, and they have partitioned out the save opportunities. In the air to shallow center, and a base hit. An RBI single for Ronnie Rodriguez to keep it going. It's 5-4. He just got enough to shoot it over the head of Forsythe.
And Ronnie didn't pull off this ball. He stayed on it. Just fought it off. He was committed in staying in there. Might have been a breaking ball that he fought off.
So Reyes is going to pinch hit. Iglesias comes in to score the pinch runner. 1-run ball game.
By Ron Gardenhire using Iglesias as the pinch runner instead of Victor Reyes tells me that that hand is still bothered for Jose Iglesias, so he'd be hitting right here.
Yeah, no doubt. And now with Iglesias and Reyes being used, Griner is the only guy on the bench. So Victor now with the tying run at first.
And Victor Reyes has got a chance to put the ball in play against this guy right here. He's a good fastball hitter.
Ball one.
McGill has thrown 21 pitches, only 12 strikes, 9 balls.
Should Reyes reach, he'll turn the lineup over to Candelario on deck. Ball 2 on Victor. Shane Green now warming in the Tigers pen.
And you wonder if he'll take one. Wouldn't be all bad to take one. Put a little pressure on McGill to throw a strike.
Swing and a miss. Ooh, did he have a rip?
He did. Those guys right there got the best seat in the house. Nicholas Castellanos and Goody. When I was a hitting coach, I used to love that spot right there. You
Good
can see
angle.
everything. Oh, you can see everything. I mean, you can see the swing. You can see where the front foot's landing. You can see where the hands are. You could do a lot of teaching from that angle right there. You can really break down the swing.
3-1.
Gonna walk Victor.
Now a full count on Reyes. Again, the Tigers down to their final strike. Crowd to its feet here. 3-2 the count. I'll tell you one thing, McGill barely looks like he's breathing. Runner goes on 3-2, and it's fouled straight back. Ray is trying to keep this game going. And with the runner going, he finds a gap, and we're tied. Another foul. He is battling against some mid to upper 90s fastballs. Again, the 3-2. Fouled away. Another foul ball by Reyes. So McGill now is up to 28 pitches. Lead up double by Victor. Tigers have gotten a run. They're down by 1 here in the 9th. Another foul. Four foul balls, a 9-pitch at bat. Yikes, there you go.
Everything up in the zone. Only 1 pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. Everything else belt buckle or higher.
Reyes lines it to left, but foul.
He's getting closer. That next fastball he gets, he'll have time perfectly. Hey, Ronnie getting his sprints in.
Ronnie's saying, put it between the white lines, please. Preferably a gap so I can scoot home and tie this game. Big breath for Reyes, who has put together a fabulous at bat here in the 9th. Pinch hitting for Gerber. And another foul. How about this at bat for Reyes? McGill just can't put him away. 31 pitches now.
And McGill doesn't have the confidence in his breaking pitch to throw it right here. If he did, he would have thrown it by now.
This is unreal. This is turning into an epic at bat.
And Bobby Wilson doesn't have the confidence to call for a breaking ball either in that pitch. He's thrown 32 pitches, and 25 of the 32 have been 95-mile-per-hour fastballs.
This is a 12-pitch at bat with 7 foul balls now for Reyes. He walked him. Wow, Reyes a 13-pitch walk.
Classic at bat.
Now the tying run is at second. McGill's got to be out of gas.
Paul Muller is going to go to the bullpen.
So McGill can't finish it off. Tigers to within 1 with 2 runners aboard. 33 pitches for McGill, and he isn't able to get it done. They'll go to the pen. We'll be back.
McGill. Every single pitch, 95, 96 miles an hour. Victor continued to foul off pitch after pitch after pitch after the count worked its way to 3-2, and finally laying off a ball up top to get the walk. What an at-bat by Victor. And you're talking about a guy that doesn't walk very often. Victor just doesn't walk, but he walks here.
13 pitch at bat, and there was number 13. He missed up top. 7 foul balls. Victor Reyes.
Classic at bat.
One of the best of the year. So McGill gives way now to Taylor Rogers. And here is Candelario with the tying run at second.
McGill probably could have made his life a little easier had he thrown a breaking ball or two, but he just wouldn't throw one.
Chambers stands in. And he looks at a strike. Ooh, he didn't like that. It appeared to be low.
Some tailing action as well. They've been beefing with Laz all night.
Numbers on Rogers, and the Walsat windows change.
Rogers is having a great year. 58 strikeouts, 13 walks. He's pitched a lot too. He's pitching in his 55th game.
Bouncing ball to third. Sano has it. Takes his time and throws him out, and the Twins will hold on to win. Tigers get a run in the ninth, but fall 5-4. And now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Trevor Thompson with Tigers Live postgame.